I was playing our song Torture. I can see Page on stage, and Jimmy's doing that Jimmy Page, like, like where he's like grooving. I almost faint. I can't believe he's doing the Pagey shuffle at my song during my set here. This is like, I never imagined it.
Rock, metal, prog, and everything in between. Welcome to this episode of Talkin' Rock with Meltdown. Don't forget to follow the audio-only Talkin' Rock podcast on all podcast platforms. And now, it's time for today's conversation. Here's Meltdown.
There he is. The Fuzzlord has entered the chat. How are you?
I'm fantastic, dude. I'm in Boston at the House of Blues right now. Sorry I was a little late.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine, man. You know, it's funny because you were just saying long time no see, but, just in preparation for our chat, I actually just Googled Rival Sons in Facebook, and like all my stuff comes up. Of course, your guys' page comes up at the top. And then it's like all the stuff that I've ever posted about you guys, and it's a lot. You guys have been here quite a few times.
We're old friends, man. We've been in business and being pals for a while.
Yeah, I think my first picture I got with you, I want to say, was that when it was called Rock on the Range. That one even came up too. I want to say it might have been 14 or 17. I can't recall, but it's been a long time.
Something like that. We've been doing them that long. I know, and it's weird because I don't like account and think about it like that. And like my years, I think this happens for a lot of us touring musicians. The years kind of like blend together. You show up to a venue and you're like, did we play here last year? No, we played here 5 years ago, especially with the pandemic. It's like, that was 10 years ago, bud.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, when I started looking through my memories on Facebook, I'm like, holy crap, that was a long time ago. But anyways, coming up to the present now, you guys got the Two-Headed Beast Tour with Clutch. Now, are you guys co-headlining, or are you guys going on first?
We are. Yeah, we're co-headlining. We're flip-flopping around. We have great opening acts with us. And Manchu is out with us right now. And on the 25th, Blackstone Cherry, our buddies, will join up too. It's fun. It's cool. We are a little black sheep. We did book this tour and plan it out and decided to put these very stoner rock heavy bands around us. For some reason, we just naturally force ourselves into a black sheep situation. But it's cool. It's great. All the bands are really friendly. And I think it's a cool, interesting show for the audience.
Did I read? If I recall, did you guys and Rival Sons not really see each other for a few months or a couple months, whatever, before this tour started?
That's always how we are. It's not that we don't like each other or love each other. We have families and lives, and we only had about a month and a half off between our European summer tour and this tour. But yeah, we go home and get on with life and take care of our families, put out fires and check off the honeydew list and just soak up the time with our loved ones and then jump back out.
Yeah, that's right. So you're going out with, obviously, like you were just talking about, the guys from Clutch. It's funny because I was walking my dog this morning and I just happened to be thinking about this. I've done hundreds of interviews, as you can imagine. And I don't know if I've ever laughed so hard as to when, and it was one of those things where you kind of got to be there. But Neil told me about playing baseball with his then 6-year-old son at their house, and his 6-year-old son telling him that he was the worst pitcher ever. And I was like crying. I was laughing so hard. Have you had a chance to talk to those guys? Do you know them?
Yeah, I've known those guys for a long, long time, since before I even did Rival Sons. I actually had mutual friends in that camp.
Okay.
Since 2000, maybe even before. Their longtime tour manager is a dear friend of mine. One of their head techs does a whole bunch of stuff, has been a dear friend. We all kind of grew up in Huntington and in Huntington Beach, and they're all still together. And back then I met the guys in Clutch, and we weren't all super close over the years, but we were like acquainted and friends. And I would see these guys also at festivals. I think it was the year we all got, there was a German festival, very famous, Rock and Park, or was it Rock and Park? Miley's in the room with me too. Rock and Park, where the bomb threat was.
Rock 'em Ring.
Rock 'em Ring. So the ring.
Tell Miley I said what up, by the way.
Here he is.
Hey, there he is. What's up, dude?
Yeah. How's it going, man?
I'm doing all right.
Rock 'em Ring. We played with them at Rock 'em Park.
Miley just
a
had
couple years before.
Miley just had surgery on his eye. He got laser eye surgery.
Oh yeah, I've had that. That's great. Yeah.
No, it's not for corrective vision.
It's not corrective.
I gotcha.
He actually had a torn retina on stage at the last gig.
No kidding.
Crazy.
Wow. He's
I'm
all
not
right.
going to make any announcements, but I'm going to tell you.
Too much head banging, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyways, I said to pass on that Neil story because anyone that knows Neil, like he's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know him. I wouldn't say I know him. I've only interviewed him a couple times, but he seems kind of dry. You know, and it's like when he told me that story, I was laughing so hard.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all very chill dudes. They've always been super chill and super kind and good guys. And they're absolutely whooping ass out here, which is fun. And I love it. Like we'll play the middle slot and it's Fu Manchu, Rival Sons. We're going to play ballads. We're going to try to make you cry. After you saw Fu Manchu, you're not sure if you want to cry. I love these guys at Fu Manchu, and I love that band. Last night, or the night before last, we played with them, and I said, I've realized listening to you guys night after night that you wrote songs that you just made sure people could say, these aren't soft.
Yeah.
You guys are not weak. That's you are making stuff that is like not fey in any way, shape, or form. No one can say this about your songs. And then here we come, and we're gonna play like a country waltz ballad, and really like make everybody cry. And then you get Clutch again. So it's like a really interesting thing when it's set up like that.
Yeah. Also, when I was looking up some stuff to talk to you about, I saw that Jay just did a thing recently about albums that changed his life. You've probably been asked this question before, but what are some of the albums that changed your life?
Oh gosh. A lot of albums changed my life. Probably every year I feel like something really alters my trajectory musically and then my energy and like my mood, you know. When I was younger, albums that changed my life, things that pop into my head immediately from a very young age, like ZZ Top's Eliminator. Just like really soaking that in. Or I think like when I was really young, Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA record. Just that, I mean, I was really young. That would have been like 8 years old or 9 years old for me. And just like where you're just like getting into like full albums for the first time, you know? Van Halen 1 certainly was one of those records that I stole the cassette from my auntie and never even had the jacket. I just had the cassette, and I then got a tape cover and drew my own cover. And I, for like 10 years, that's what I had. That I had this like thing that I drew when I was 7 years old or something for Van Halen 1's cassette. Those records were really powerful. I remember coming across Jimi Hendrix's what hits, like big hits, like best of, an early best of by Hendrix that came out in the 70s. And that record crushed me. A compilation that the Rolling Stones made called Through the Past Darkly, that was like, you know, 2000 Light Years, Ruby Tuesday, Painted Black, like that era of the Stones. And that record, I would go camping and put it in my Walkman, cassette Walkman. I'm aging myself there, dating myself. And I would go on these like fantastic camp trips, like to these like gym shows, or these like the Chocolate Mountains, or like up to like Yosemite, like these real beautiful places. And that was what was in my head. And I remember just feeling like changed. I remember just like going on a journey with it and going, this connects with me. This like adventure, this type of music, this like really exploratory music. So that's some of them. There's records really, I mean, if I go into my later teen years, I'm going to go see a band tonight across the street from where we're playing at Fenway, Pearl Jam 10. That was a changer for me.
Yeah.
That was like a moment where music was changing. And that record certainly like connected really hard. Sorry, I'm backstage in a hallway, very crowded.
Well, that record changed life for a lot of people. But what was the last piece of the physical music you purchased? You're a vinyl guy, right?
Yeah. So I haven't done vinyl shopping on this tour. So I'm trying to remember the last thing I got would have been on the last tour. I settled down. I try not to just collect vinyl like a crazy person. I
Yeah.
actually listen to what I buy. One of the most important was on our last fall European tour, and I found this Reader's Digest, and I think I got this in Prague, little tiny hole in the wall record store in Prague, just like down an alley, and he had a Reader's Digest box set of bossa nova records, a 10 record set that was in perfect condition from like 1965.
Wow.
And I know that might not be exciting to the listeners here, but I've been on this crazy bossa nova Brazilian music kick. This is a spectacular box set of vinyl. I'm telling you.
How many do you think you have?
I don't have I don't have like 10,000 pieces, but I have. Okay, so if you don't get custom record shelving, we all have to get those same IKEA record shelves. That's what we all have.
Yeah.
There's like the perfect IKEA record shelf. I have 2 of those filled up.
Okay, I've got one filled up, and I've got some others with autographed records, which you guys have signed for me in the past. So.
Right on. Yeah,
no,
I mean, I a lot of people just like buy, and consume, and there's a novelty of just buying vinyl. I don't really do that. I try to resist as much as I can and buy what I know I'm going to go home and listen to, and stuff that I don't want or that feels like filler in my collection, I put it aside and I'll take it. I have a friend that has a record store. I'm going to take it all to him or whatever, or I'll give it away, you know? So
yeah,
basically, so you can go to the collection and just feel your hands through and go, this one, and pull it out and go, it's great. And I can look at it and go, that's a good record. You'll love it.
Yeah, I haven't bought as many as I used to. I don't know. I got other things going on right now. You just mentioned like Van Halen and Hendrix and obviously the Stones and stuff like that. I mean, how many of the guitar heroes that you grew up listening to have you had a chance to meet, and what were some of the highlights?
I've got to meet quite a few. I've got to meet quite a few. I mean, I've only spent a little bit of time with Jimmy Page. He was obviously a really big hero growing up for me. And we played a show at a place in London called the Electric Ballroom when we were, I think that was 2012, I want to say, 13 maybe. And we have a mutual friend in the famous photographer, Ross Halfin, who had, I'd become friends with him and he photographed the band. He said, I'm going to invite Jimmy Page out to the show. And I'm like, okay, no. And he goes, no, really, I'm going to. And I said, okay. So we prepared. He came back. I made sure I had all of our vinyl of the time, which I think went up to Head Down at that point. He walked in and everybody met him, and it was really cool. We had Whispering Bob Harris in the room, kind of some real famous people in there. And it was about 2 minutes into everybody met Jimmy Page to where everybody went, okay, let's leave him alone. And everybody just exited the dressing room so I could be alone with Jimmy Page. It was so cool.
Wow.
And we just talked, we talked some fashion and records and a little bit of guitar, and I gave him all of our vinyl, which he said he was a fan of, and it was really cool. But the memorable thing about that meeting was we were playing this sold out show at the Electric Ballroom, and I was playing our song Torture on DAC. It's got a groove to it, and I'm grooving it. I look over in the wings and I can see Page on stage, and Jimmy's doing that Jimmy Page, like, you know, like where he's like grooving, and he's really grooving hard to what we're doing. And I just felt in the moment like I almost faint. I felt like almost like a white flash. Like, I can't believe he's doing the Pagey shuffle at my song during my set here. This is like, I never imagined it.
That is unreal. And then of course, obviously you guys tour with it's Tony Iommi and guys like
Yeah, Tony was really kind and a profound friendship to make, and something to watch for 13 months regularly. We'll stand behind him, 3 feet behind him, and watch him play those sets. And I learned something really important from those shows, and from him specifically, about not phoning in gigs, which I don't do, but I figured maybe you get older and you do. Maybe that's okay. And I watched him night after night after night, never, not one single time, phone a gig in and put every ounce of himself into it and play it with all of his shakti, all of his energy that he could put into it. And frankly, man, for a guitar player and someone in this business, I found it completely moving night after night. It was something to behold, and I just felt like that's cool. It was not only moving because it's Tony Iommi and those guitar parts, but this is an older guy, a grandpa, that it didn't go away for him. And for me, that's my job. Similarly, watching it, going, maybe it'll never go away. Maybe I'll be able to engage like that for the rest of my life. And for me, that's a moving idea, a moving thought.
That's interesting because about a month ago I saw Faster Pussycat, maybe for the first time since the 80s or something. I can't even recall, but I was astounded by, how well they played and how much fun they looked like they were having in front of a bar that was like half full of a couple hundred people. And I even wrote a story about it. I felt so moved by it. It's like Tammy Down sang these songs how many times you think? And he looked like he was having the time of his life up there. Now,
yeah, dude.
Was or not, I don't know, but at least he gave that impression.
I like that, and that's how it should be. And I think maybe as a professional musician, touring musician, it's almost fearful because it's so much, you get so much joy from it, and it brings people so much joy. I think maybe some of us may have a subtle fear, like, does that wane? Does that leave? Like, does the power of that leave the people? Does the power of that leave me? And when I hear stories like that about a band, even like Faster Pussycat, yes, man, that's cool. That's how it should be.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I never thought about that. Does it leave?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you go on, I mean, do you still enjoy taking the stage every single night? Is that the highlight of your day when you're out on these shows?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love the guys I play with. We have a lot of fun. We're exploratory on stage every single night. We change things up every single night, even if the set remains the same. Within the set, there's always freedom and improvisation, and there's going to be something different about every single night. And the audiences are all very different, yet still the same and being free. And it's a great opportunity to make people feel good. It's a great job, man. My job is to get on stage and try to, the best I can, put light in people's heart, help them get free, help them forget about the things that separate us, help them remember about the things that connect us, that make us the same, and the people that are divided politically or religiously or just on social issues or anything, we forget. We sing the same song together, we dance, we laugh together, some of them will drink together, and that's a bigger job than just playing a rock show and, you know what I mean, making money or whatever. And I see the real job. I see the real job that we're doing out here, and it makes it great every night.
Yeah. You just mentioned some people will drink together. You're still sober. How's that going for you?
Great. Fantastic. Yeah. I'm lucky in that I don't feel like any pings or anything like that. The sobriety allows me to really take in these tours and life in general, like big gulp it, like really, really soak it in and really remember everything and really kind of be focused. Yeah. So I'm happy. Yeah.
So final thing here for you. I know that you guys have mentioned a bunch of times how much you like coming through Detroit, and all that. And you guys have played here, several times, and we had a great relationship with you guys here at the station. On your Wikipedia, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, it says your first band was called Human Lab, and you were signed in 2000 with Atlantic Records, which was negotiated by Ian Monaco.
Yeah.
Who was also with Jack White. Is that true?
That's 100% true.
Okay, you got a lot of Detroit connections, it seems like.
Yeah, dude. Well, I don't know. I guess that's a very roundabout Detroit connection, but I will say the first time we ever came through Detroit, I've said this on your station, I've said this conversation to you, I've said this comment, but we were like doing pretty terribly on the first tour through because we were just brand new. Nobody knew us yet. We didn't have a label or anything. So like 2008 maybe or 9, like we're driving a van around, you know what I mean? And we were having hard times in most markets, except like at home and here and there. And when I remember coming into Detroit, and I remember talking to the guys and going, I feel like Detroit's gonna know about us and like get it. I just have a gut feeling. We were talking about it, and we all kind of agreed, like, if there is a real traditional music city that's like blue collar, roughneck, and like that understands rock and roll and soul music. It's Detroit. That's the place. That is the place in America, and we felt like that will be our savior city that understands us. And sure enough, when we pulled in, that was the vibe. Even early on, that was the vibe. And it just grew and grew and grew. And now, I mean, I think the last time we played where we sold out the Fillmore there, and it's consistently been this way and continued to grow. And I feel a great affinity to Detroit for this.
Well, we look forward to seeing you coming up on Friday. I know that I got some tickets for my friend, hockey legend Darren McCarty. He's a huge fan. He said, he texted me years ago. I don't know, I was playing, I don't even remember, it was one of the earlier songs, and he's like, "Who is this? I got to see these guys." So he's going to come to the show. So it should be a great night, of course, here in Detroit. The weather's been so good. So yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Let's connect, bring him backstage. Let's say what's up and hang out a little bit.
All right, you got it, Scott. Hey, listen, man, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for always being so cool to us here in Detroit.
Yeah, brother. I'll see you soon.